Bro.
All right.
All right, we are live, everybody. Jeremy is fixing his camera up. Um, yes, and I am checking to make sure that we are live. But it sounds like and it looks like we're live. So this is episode. What are we at, Jeremy? Episode 4.
Yes.
Episode 4, and we're still on. We haven't been canceled just yet. It's
Thank
your
God.
boy. It's the Combat Sports Guy here, and it's Jeremy Velasquez.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's get to our first topic of the day. Jeremy, can you please pull up a picture for topic 1, dog? Devin
Yes,
Haney
sir.
versus Ryan Garcia. From what I'm hearing, bro, I'm hearing that this is declared a no contest, dog. This is declared a no contest. Ryan has been banned from boxing for a year and now wants a rematch with Ryan. And then Haney wants a rematch with Ryan Garcia. So I guess Haney's going to remain undefeated now. So let's pull up a picture for that. I don't know, bro.
Right.
What do you think about Ryan being fucking banned from boxing, bro? Like, what's the word on this?
You know what? I don't like it. I think the whole situation from the start has been very fishy. I think you know, the thing, a lot of things that happened outside in this fight could have been handled way better, and I don't like the fact that Devin Haney is now trying to take legal action against Ryan Garcia, saying he could have, now made more money for his fight against Sandor Martin. I think that just shows who Devin Haney is as a person. The guy just simply can't take a loss. I mean, I think he got battered by that, and it's like, I don't think it's just me that thinks that. I think a lot of the boxing community, that is, like, I like to think I'm a pretty neutral person. First of all, let me just start off by saying this: I don't like either of these fighters, and I was very neutral when this fight happened. So, when a guy, I think when a guy shows his true colors like this, the way Devin Haney's doing, I think. You know what? It's not good. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. And it really both Devin and Bill Haney are showing that they simply just can't have a stain on their record. And I feel bad for Ryan Garcia. The guy had it's hard to say if he had a legitimate win, because again, it's still, we never know if he really took the steroids, even though the courts decided that he did. Again, there could be some kind of foul play or something like that. I mean, these kinds of things, you're never just gonna get a guy to admit like that he used steroids if he did.
Bro,
it's an ugly situation. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how does this reflect on every other fight, bro, in history? How does this reflect on Roy Jones, Canelo Alvarez, Floyd Mayweather? How does it reflect on Shane Mosley? How does it reflect on the history of boxers getting popped for steroids, bro? How does this reflect? How does reversing this win reflect on all the other times that guys were popped, still fought, and their wins were not reversed, bro? Like, do we have to look back in history and start reversing our wins, or do we just?
Well, honestly, there's no point. There's no point to be reversing those wins, and assuming there should never be I'm sorry, let me say this. If we are reversing those wins, then yeah, we should be reversing these wins. But if we're not doing anything about those wins in the past, then what are we doing worrying about this win? It's clear that the sport doesn't want that. So for them to go all this effort, for the Haneys to go all this effort just to take that 0 off of Devin's record, I think it just shows really shows their true colors. And hey, let's hope. Here's to a clean boxing. hopefully we get more clean fights in the future.
Hey man, Jeremy, I don't know. Okay, I think, like, in my personal opinion, I think this is kind of messy, bro. All right, because if we take a step back, we start looking at the UFC, we start looking at all combat sports. The UFC recently got rid of USADA. If the people don't know who USADA is, USADA was the original foundation that was looking after who was on steroids, who isn't on steroids. But now there is no more USADA. So in reality, I believe that the UFC is it's a free for all. We've already seen pictures of that one Russian heavyweight. What's his name?
Sergey Pavlovich.
Sergey. Yeah. Sergey's looking like Brock Lesnar out there, Jeremy.
Like a prime, not even just any Brock Lesnar, prime Brock Lesnar.
The people gotta understand, bro. It's like you and me. We're a little husky, bro. It's like if we came back and we had like 6-pack abs, Jeremy.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, it seems
1000%.
like steroids are still in combat sports. They're still prevalent, and there should be something done about it. So I do like that they did something about this situation. But if they had to really pick and choose, I don't think the situation was that big. I think that there was an argument that Ryan was taking some tainted supplements, bro, in my opinion.
Yeah, so, and especially if it was somebody in his own camp, like a nutritionist or something like that, sabotaging him in a way. I mean, that's really unfortunate, Yeah. And as per Ryan, this wouldn't be the first time, obviously, as somebody, apparently somebody in his camp had given Gervonta Davis some inside information on a rib injury. Who knows if that's true? I don't know if that ever ended up, if they ever ended up proving that, but that happened. So this guy just needs to watch who he has around him. And I mean, it's just unfortunate, this whole situation.
Look, Brian,
that a good win got bashed this way.
Hey man, that's true, bro. I can't disagree. What I can say is that for the both of them, they don't come clean from this situation. Haney still got his ass kicked the whole night.
Yeah, I mean, there's no taking away that ass with me. It's
and the whole world saw it. And Ryan, unfortunately, he has a blemish on his record now again too. So they both did not come clean from this fight. If they fought again, I would still have Ryan winning against Haney, I would say.
Yeah, probably. I mean, even Ryan is just a massive guy. If he somehow manages to cut to 140, he's still a massive guy at the end of the day.
Let's move in. Yeah. Let's move into Eddie Hearn, who was actually Devin Haney's original promoter. Let's move into Eddie Hearn, interested in signing Shakur Stevenson after his July 6th fight. Let's move into that. Let's talk a little bit about it, Jeremy. What are we thinking here, bro? I've been hearing that Shakur is not happy with Top Rank on and off. Eddie Hearn's looking to sign him.
And Bob Arum and Shakur Stevenson have made it clear that their relationship has just gone south. So tell you the truth, I want to see it. I want to see this happen. I would like to see. I think when guys go to Matchroom, they finally become more active. They tend to get really decent fights. And I think for a guy who's building a name up like Shakur, I think that's honestly the best thing you could do. And again, I'm going to tell you the truth, I'm not the biggest Shakur Stevenson fan, but I'll still watch his fights. And I think he has the potential to be an entertaining fighter. I just think I just think maybe Matchroom can give him that extra spark or that kick or just build that excitement that his events need. His events were pretty exciting, or at least like the build up to the what's it called, the Shakur versus De Los Santos, I believe. Was that the last one? Yeah, Shakur versus De Los Santos.
Yeah.
That one had the makings of an exciting event, but I think Matchroom can take Shakur to that next level, and I think Matchroom can also get him some fights that the fans want to see.
I gotta bring it up, Jeremy. I gotta bring it up.
What is it?
Look, Jeremy, I know you like Matchroom and everything, all right, but I'm sorry to let you know there is a Matchroom curse, Jeremy. There's a Matchroom curse. Whatever Eddie Hearn touches, it just does not turn to gold, Jeremy. It turns the exact opposite. I'll tell you why. Gabriel Matias, first loss under Eddie Hearn. Ryder lost to Munguia. We got Jack Catterall. He lost first time to Taylor, second
Right,
time.
Ryder was destined to lose to Munguia.
That's true. But look, man, Eddie Hearn loss after loss. He lost all 5 of the 5v5 fights. Jeremy,
That's
is
true.
it
He did
like
get swept.
Jeremy Matchroom seems like whatever they got a good stable of fighters, but they're losing fighters. Sonny Edwards lost. There's a lot of guys that lost. Jeremy, look at all the it's just I don't know, Jeremy. I think he goes to Matchroom. They face him against some European fighter because that's all Matchroom really sells to. There's no problem with that. The European market is a huge market, but I don't know. I just feel like I would just say that Shakur, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know if it builds him up. He fights a guy from Australia. The guy kind of, he could get a decent boxer from Europe can give Shakur decent work, or Shakur makes an easy night out of it. But I would say he gets some decent work in, and then Shakur's star power is not that strong anymore. The same thing happened with Subriel Matias. Like, that's my opinion. I think that honestly,
I'll tell you what.
I don't know, man. I don't know how Matchroom roll. Like,
If
hey,
Shakur
again,
Stevenson breaks this Matchroom curse, you don't think he can? You don't think he'll be entertaining? You think people start to call him soft or start to get on his case?
Who?
Shakur.
I think that if he goes to Matchroom, it's just going to continue. I don't think that. I think he's got to fight the real fights. That's all that matters at this point. Promotions, none of that really matters. If he does not fight Tank in the next 1-2 years, if he does not fight Haney,
now that's not a good sign, regardless of promoter. If he doesn't choose to fight, and honestly, any of the 135 champions, even Dennis Baranchik, that says a lot. But if he moves up to 140, man. Who are we to complain? 140 has some champs. 140 has some champs that everybody, a lot of people say that he can beat. So, and he sure as hell isn't going to move from 135 to 147. So we'll see. We'll see how this one plays out, because obviously, that July 6th event, that's going to be his last fight with Top Rank, unless they decide to re-sign him. But again, with the way Bob Arum and Shakur Stevenson have been going back and forth, and Bob Arum even went out and said, like, nobody's going to want to sign Shakur Stevenson. He didn't say that word for word, but he basically implied that there is no demand to sign Shakur Stevenson. So, look,
I don't know. That's not true. I think that he just throws a lot of things out there because he's just an old.
I think it's just a relationship that's soured.
Yeah, but look, at the end of the day, he has a contractual obligation to Top Rank still. After that, the fight he has in July, then he doesn't have it anymore. Eddie Hearn, he picks up the scraps, not in a bad way. He picks up a lot of the scraps from Top Rank and PBC. If he can build a good start of him, congrats. But honestly, I would say that Matchroom, barring Joshua, who again got upsetted and beaten under the watch of Eddie Hearn, they don't really have a lot of huge stars. But in Europe, they definitely do. They have a solid market there. It's just tough for me to see Shakur moving anywhere except being at Top Rank, just because of how long he's been there and how many guys Top Rank could throw at him in terms of Loma, in terms of.
I'll tell you what, they built him up. They built him up, but now I think it's all up to Shakur to really see where he wants to go. I trust that he'll take a good route, and I trust that he'll make good fights. But again, we've seen a lot of ducking lately, and it could happen. It could full well happen here. It could happen here.
Let's go from a potential Matchroom boxer to an actual Matchroom boxer. Let's go to Berlanga. He could be the next fight for Canelo Alvarez if Canelo chooses to vacate his IBF title versus William Skull, which I believe he will. Canelo has defended the undisputed title 3-4 times already. He's already pretty much cemented that he is the boss at 168, no matter who wins the title. There's always going to be talk. William Skull, he's probably going to fight some fighter nobody knows. He's probably going to outbox that fighter, become an IBF titleist, and then we're going to have another person that they want him to fight. But look, this right here, this is a really sellable fight. I would say this can sell equal to, if not slightly more, the Munguia fight. This is a good fight. I dig it. This is a masterclass by Canelo. I think
Yeah, I
that Canelo's
mean,
going to
yeah,
be taking care of business in this one.
yeah. I mean, you know what? It's no Canelo versus Benavidez, but I'll tell you what, this is probably the closest we'll get to Canelo versus Benavidez in a long time. So, I mean, obviously, a lot of people say Berlanga is one of the best 168-pound fighters right now. And obviously, this could make for a good Mexico versus Puerto Rico card, depending on how they go about this. If Saudi Arabia somehow gets their hands on this, who knows? The possibilities are endless. So this is an exciting fight. I wouldn't be mad if this happens. I think regardless of promoter, I think this fight will sell really well. With that being said, should this fight take place, I got Canelo by unanimous decision, and I mean unanimous decision. When I say unanimous decision, I'm talking about damn near clean sweep.
Yeah.
I I'm not insanely impressed with Berlanga's last couple performances. Um, I mean, the guy's marketable. He's marketable for sure, but I'm not completely sold on his last couple performances. Obviously, they've come close to, you know, they have come really close. They've really been down to the wire and against, not fantastic competition. So we'll see. We'll see. But again, I mean, hey, the guy, he has power. He has the abilities there. And this should make for an exciting fight in theory. I'm going to say in theory. I don't know if the actual fight itself will be fantastic, but I'll just say in theory.
I would say
Yeah,
this is gonna be a decent fight. It's gonna be about the same as the Munguia fight. Um,
maybe. Berlanga gets
I don't
dropped.
think there's anything.
All right, not
Yeah,
twice.
I think Berlanga gets dropped for sure.
He gets dropped
I think it goes
twice.
about the same as the Munguia fight. Yeah,
Either that
well,
or
the thing is
Canelo
that I
shows him
think,
levels.
yeah, no, Canelo's gonna definitely show him levels. I would say that with Munguia, people are gonna learn just how tough Munguia was based on this fight. I think what's gonna happen is what kind of happened with the Charlo fight. I think that Berlanga's gonna feel comfortable a little bit in the beginning. Once he starts tiring out and Canelo starts pot shotting and kind of just like finding his shots, I don't think Berlanga's gonna want any of that. I think Berlanga's volume is gonna start dropping in the later rounds, and he's not gonna want any of that.
Yeah.
Munguia showed a lot of heart in his fight against Canelo, and it made people feel like, like maybe Canelo's stock dropped a little bit on that one, but it's no. Canelo is still a very tactical boxer, and the fact that he makes these world-class boxers look like just another day in the office just shows how good of a pound-for-pound fighter he is.
Yeah. So that's an exciting one. This isn't one where I know you and I were not going to disagree on this one. We've talked about this one a couple times already.
It's just tough to
But it should make for a great event. It should make for a great event no matter how they put it. Again, in Mexico versus Puerto Rico card would probably cause a lot of fights in the stands, but you know what? I mean,
that's when you know you have a good night.
Cool. I think it would be cool. I would love to see it.
Good night in boxing.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to another possible next Mexican great. William Cepeda is now the number one contender for all sanctioning bodies and is the next in line for the title at 135. I think that William Cepeda has done it the old classic way, Jeremy. He has gone up the ranks. He has gone up the ladder. He has fought different contenders, different fighters. He has done it the old classic way, just like the person that he likes to imitate in a way, despite him being a lefty, not a righty, and a person that he looks up to, the great Salvador Sanchez. I would say that William Cepeda is a great fight for anybody. He's going to bring the fight. He's going to bring a tactical, smart, volume fight to any fighter that he fights. I think that he can take out a good amount of the 135-pound division where he stands right now.
Yeah, and you know what? I love William Cepeda. I think he's one of the few fighters that could beat Shakur Stevenson. It's very possible. I think this is fantastic for him. You're right. He climbed up the ranks. He climbed up the ranks by just straight punishing other fighters.
Yeah.
Assuming he wins versus why am I blanking on his name?
Oh
Um
yeah. Once against Cabrera.
Cabrera, yes, Cabrera. I'm sorry about that. I'm blanking on his name. Cabrera. Um yeah, assuming, and especially if he wins in a dominant fashion, I mean, come on. The title shot has to be next. Regardless, the title
Yeah.
shot has to be next. No matter what
I
way he
yeah.
wins.
Well,
Um
I think the Cabrera fights for some sort of interim belt now.
That I'd have to look into that one. Maybe. I'm
Okay.
not sure, so I'm not gonna say, like, yeah, it is,
If,
but
I'm not gonna lie, if William Cepeda is able to make Cabrera look like an easy night out, he's positioning himself to be looking like a scary individual for this 135-pound division, if I'm honest with
definitely a dark horse. As if he wasn't a dark horse
you.
already, I think. I think he's an absolute dark horse. And honestly, you throw him in there with any 135-pound champion,
Yeah.
Dennis Berinchik, Gervonta
He's
Davis, Shakur
he's giving everybody
Stevenson,
work. He's giving
and yeah,
everybody work.
and Vasily Lomachenko. Like, you throw him with any of those guys,
I
not only
he,
does he have a legitimate chance to beat them all. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
gives
he's a
everybody
fun fighter to watch. A super
yeah.
underrated guy for sure. Um, yeah, so big things in store for him. He's definitely a fighter I'm super excited to keep tuning into to watch. Um, and yeah, I just want to think like what you think, James, about like his trajectory if he beats Cabrera.
Well, I think that William Cepeda gets a fight in with Loma, most likely,
Okay.
with or the Ukrainian guy that just beat Navarrete. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. Dennis Berinchik. Yeah.
Baranchik, I would say, yeah, I think he fights either of those two. I think Golden Boy and Top Rank have a good enough working relationship to where they're going to want to have some of their guys go at it with each other, whether they work with Saudi Arabia or not in a 5v5 fashion. Who knows? That was a great headliner for him to fight Lomachenko or the other fellow from Ukraine who was also on that amateur national team, which is kind of insane. I believe he was. I'm not sure. But
He
yeah, no,
was. Yeah. Dennis Berinchik was a part of that team.
I would say that it'd be a great fight. I think that he can take out both of those champions. As talented as they both are, I think Loma has aged a bit, and I think that he's a slow starter. I think William Cepeda is the exact opposite. I think that he could be a fast starter, and
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
that
volume, 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 volume. That's his game.
lefty versus lefty is going to give Loma some problems. The way he moves and the way that he moves and shifts is going to be problematic because he's not going to be used to fighting against another left-handed fighter. Um, but with that being said, I think he gives everybody work at 135. I think as long as he stays at 135, he could actually even become undisputed. This is his weight class. If he moves up to 140, we have a different conversation because people hit a lot
Yeah.
harder there.
No, it's tougher.
But
Yeah.
at 135, I think he has a great shot. I think that Golden Boy has finally found a decent champion that's just a workhorse and just does everything right. Just have all the integrity in the world. Like the Golden Boys had so many problems, like all promotions do, but Munguia, he lost against Canelo. He needs more
Yeah.
experience. They have Virgil Ortiz, who has all the talent in the world, but just keeps getting injuries after injuries. And we have Ryan Garcia, who is just he's got that lifestyle. He's got that celebrity lifestyle. So
He does have an interesting life outside the ring.
I would say that William Cepeda is that perfect boxer that they've been wanting to have.
Yeah.
Can he lose? Sure, he can lose, but that's the
Oh
way the
no,
sport.
most definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But he can
staying
also
on the
win.
topic,
He can also win in an entertaining fashion. So
staying on the topic of the 135-pound division, we do have on here Lomachenko is interested in fighting Gervonta Tank Davis, which is one of the fights that does interest me greatly. I would say that obviously from what I just said right now, I don't think that fight's getting made, in my opinion. I think that they're probably going to go the route of Cepeda versus Chanko. I think that's an easier fight to make.
probably, I mean, yeah, we see we've seen this a couple times before where I'm sorry, Top Rank and Golden Boy have collaborated already. So, there's a
Yeah.
we've seen that before.
It's a
So
strong relationship.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I mean, honestly,
Uh,
I think it would be an easier fight to make.
let's stay on the topic of Gervonta and Loma. If this fight were to happen, who do you have winning? What's the word here?
Let's see. Well, I mean, it's it's a fun little fantasy fight. But if I had to pick one, I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know what? I mean, if you would ask me maybe a couple months ago, I would have said Lomachenko. But truthfully, Gervonta Davis, I mean, that guy is just he's just as devastating as they could. As much as I would love to see Lomachenko win, I love Lomachenko, but it's like, damn, man, Gervonta Davis,
He's coming to the right side.
He's
coming to the right
nice.
side.
He's nice. I know. We've disagreed about this, but I thought Lomachenko's footwork would be too much.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. Look, I think, Jeremy, there's a little bit of recency bias. Obviously, if Lomachenko put in some work, like in a few months, then maybe you'd be like, oh man, this is gonna be too tough to call. But I would just say I'm sticking with Gervonta. I think I think Gervonta gets the knockout. If I'm honest with you, late round stoppage. Gervonta. If Gervonta's gonna win this fight, it has to be by stoppage.
I feel like Gervonta just lands just some crazy counter, like a nice hook.
Nasty bomb.
Yeah, I mean that left hand will definitely find its way.
It's gonna be a tougher fight for sure because Loma has better volume than he's ever fought, better footwork. Yeah. It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough fight. I think Loma's gonna be up in the fight, but Tank's just got that.
Gervonta is gonna find his way. He will find his way. Yeah, and I agree.
I got Tank by knockout. I got Tank by knockout.
Late rounds, middle rounds, early rounds.
Loma versus Tank. Tank by knockout. We're talking 11th, 12th round knockout, bro. It's
interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and say 10th. I feel like 10 is the golden number for me. I feel like 10th round knockout. But again, I don't know, man, because I know Gervonta has a tendency to get down on the cards, but obviously that's because he spent some time reading his opponents and he punishes them. Yeah. Once he gets that read, it's over, and we've seen it time and time again. So that's why if you look at the cards, they're either even, or sometimes Tank is slightly above, or sometimes Tank is completely down. But again, he reads his opponents really well.
Yeah, the thing with Tank is that Tank, I feel like he lulls his opponents to sleep with the lack of volume. But once he places those shots, it's just like, it's like bang bang. Like you're just like, damn, like I'm not
confidence, and then bam, makes him pay for it once it comes time to. Yeah,
Loma is like a surgeon. Typically breaks you down, and then he figures Tank's just like, I'm not throwing. Finds an opening and he knocks opponents out.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I think he's gonna get Loma, but for next time, he only got Tank Davis on the cards. I mean, bro, let's just real quick. Wow, bro, Tank. He really put in some work, Jeremy. He really showed the world why he is named Gervonta Tank Davis, bro. He brought the heat, bro. He brought the heat.
He is a bad man. He is a bad man.
What I will say is that a fight from Gervonta will last later in the rounds and be a much closer fight. I mean, and not closer, but Loma's going to be dominating a good amount because Loma is legitimately a 135 pounder. In my opinion, Frank Martin actually might be a 140 pounder.
Yeah, Frank Martin's last couple fights, I mean, he did have to cut something heavy, Yeah, I mean, he was all skin and bone in that way, and unfortunately, but I'm sure Frank Martin will come back, and he'll probably give the 140-pound division some hell. I'm not gonna lie. You can't take away from Frank Martin. He's not bad by any means. But yeah, I mean, Tank is just gonna do Tank things, and You know, yeah, and he's just gonna continue controlling that 135 pound of it. I don't I right now. Do I think he's the best 135 pounder? Honestly, yeah. I think he's the best 135 pounder right now. I think he's the best out of all the champions.
Gervonta?
Yeah, I think he's the best 135 pounder. And I'm gonna stick with that for now.
Shakur,
I
Jeremy.
don't know. I think.
Wait, hold on. Shakur, Jeremy, what's going on here?
I know. You know what? I'll tell you what. It's definitely between them two. It's definitely between them
All
two.
right, Jeremy, you gotta look. You gotta stick to your guns.
Tank and Shakur.
Gervonta versus Shakur. Who do you got?
I got Gervonta Tank Davis.
Oh man, Jeremy, I'm sorry, bro, but you're in for a good one. Shakur's winning that in 12 rounds. 12-round decision. Shakur's taking that.
So. I think Shakur's going to get complacent. I think Shakur's going to get complacent. You know, the minute somebody, that left hand is going to find it. I see you. I see you. I see you trying to throw a little Philly show right there.
All night, Shakur's just going to be deflecting shots.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know what? I'll tell you what. That is definitely a fight that Gervonta Davis, but I already know what's going to happen if that fight gets made. Gervonta Davis will no doubt be the betting favorite. I don't think they'll make Shakur the betting favorite. I think Gervonta Davis will be the betting favorite. But I think Shakur Stevenson will legitimately, don't get me wrong, he has a legit chance to win. I won't take that away from him. But I do have Gervonta Davis, just reading Shakur and finding that clean shot. It's not like, at least I believe Gervonta Davis can get a read on Shakur Stevenson. I don't think Gervonta Davis will spend more than maybe 5 rounds, getting a read on Shakur Stevenson. I think Gervonta Davis will get a read on him by round 5, and the minute round 5 hits, it'll be all Gervonta Davis from there. That's my prediction right there.
I think Shakur's winning a decision. I think Shakur is. I think Shakur's taking this by decision, man. I think Shakur.
And honestly, I won't even say that's yeah, and that's a legitimate possibility. Shakur Stevenson by decision. I think that's a great a good prediction. I won't knock that, because that's not a bad prediction at all. Because I agree with that for like the most part, So
that's real. It's 50-50.
Yeah.
Let's move into Keyshawn. Move into Keyshawn versus Davis. Keyshawn Davis wants Gervonta Davis. That's a rough one, man.
Well, I'll tell you, we all know how this one's gonna go. At least how I think this one's gonna go. Gervonta Davis is gonna lay the absolute whoop on Keyshawn. Keyshawn's good, but he's not Gervonta Davis good. But this would be a fun fight regardless. I think the buildup would be good. The trash talk would be good. The event would be fun all around, whether it be a top ranker, PBC, whoever. It'd probably be PBC because PBC doesn't like to collaborate with anybody. But this is assuming, obviously, PBC, this is assuming PBC wants to collaborate with top rank. But yeah, no, Keyshawn Davis is a legit 135 pounder. He's a really good 135 pounder and really exciting fighter to watch. So I would like to see this one get made, but again, I understand if it doesn't get made. This was just kind of like a fun throw out there. Keyshawn Davis said Gervonta Davis was disrespecting him, so I guess they have some kind of history, maybe that they don't talk about. I don't know. Maybe Keyshawn is just trying to get a money fight. I don't know, but I want to see it. I want to see it get made. I would like to see it get made, and I just want to know what you think about this one. If should it get made?
Yeah, no, I honestly can't disagree with that, bro. I think Tank is getting. This is another, bro. Like, there's nothing to really argue about when it comes to Tank. Like, barring him versus Shakur, Tank's getting that early knockout, bro. He's getting that early knockout.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I can't imagine any other outcome. I don't know about an early. I would say maybe like a mid round, maybe like mid, like maybe like we'll say like say seventh or eighth round. I would say that'll probably, yeah. I think that happens.
Okay.
But again, I would like to see it. Why not? For fun, for funsies. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that would be cool. I think that would be a cool fight. But yeah,
So we got
what's
some
next on the agenda?
we got some exciting news, Jeremy. We got Jake Paul versus Mike Perry, bro. And Jake's
We
supposed to take
already
place.
there, huh?
Yeah, man. It's Jake Paul versus Mike Perry. Supposed to take place in Tampa, Florida, and it's meant to replace Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Is this through Netflix, or are they doing this just like as an event through
I
Jake Paul and
believe
his
this is
promotion?
a. I'm sorry. I believe this is a. What's it called? I believe this is an event that's put on by MVP Promotions. I don't think this. I think this will just be like its own standalone pay per view. Um, I think it'll be its own standalone pay per view,
Mhm.
and it's exciting. I like it. Mike Perry's
Uh-huh.
he's he's shown that this he can fight. He can fight. And it's really cool that what's it called?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
BKFC is letting Mike Perry do this. I think that's awesome. Um, and I'm
Yeah.
excited. Do I think Jake Paul's going to lose? Probably not. However, I think this one goes the distance. Mike Perry is tough as nails, and he can just bleed and keep on bleeding and just not go down. And it'll be shown on DAZN, according to this right
Yeah.
here.
No, you're right. You're definitely right.
So yeah, let's see how this one goes.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, I think this was. I'm glad. I'm glad Jake Paul is at least staying, active to some degree. That's kind of nice. Because I was gonna say if he really just
Mhm.
waived it out until
Mhm.
November with no fight in between, I mean that's just it's kind of bad. I don't think that's a good
Yeah.
look.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think he can't wait for Mike Tyson. And honestly, look, he's giving the people what they want. I'm not gonna cap.
Yeah,
Jake
hey,
Paul's
we
climbing up
can't
the
knock him
ladder
for that.
slowly, steadily. No, we can't. He's slowly, steadily climbing up the ladder, trying to get that good competition in, and he's doing it. He's fighting like Perry. I was leaning towards Mike when I first saw this, but what I started to realize is that this is not bare knuckle boxing. This is boxing.
Yeah,
I think the heavier gloves are definitely they're gonna tire out Mike
yeah.
a
Mike
little bit
Perry
more.
definitely can't
And I
throw
think
as many strikes as he does for sure.
yeah, the volume's gonna go down, and I think that the power is not gonna be as devastating without the gloves on. He's still gonna crack, but I think that Jake Paul is gonna he learned the art. He knows he learned the science. He learned the sweet science, so he knows that as long as he jabs a few rounds and he kind of sets up the right hand, he's always gonna have a chance at beating Mike Perry, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I agree. I think Jake is probably going to spam that overhand right, and I'm sure he's gonna uh, do some damage to Mike Perry. I think some nasty cuts will be had in this fight, and I'm anticipating a good one. I know Mike Perry's going to be there to brawl, and so I'm kind of excited to see this one. I don't know why. I like normally
It's
I've never
this is
looked forward to a Jake Paul fight like this, but I'm like this one might
Jake's
actually be
finally
entertaining.
yeah, he's finally fighting a dude that's really gonna bring it, and it's gonna
Yeah,
be chaos. And this I've been wanting to see this for a while, so
yeah, and it's
this
finally happening. So let's
really
hope it actually goes through. Let's hope it actually nobody pulls out or nothing like that. God forbid.
no,
But yeah, I
definitely.
would love to see this one.
Another big fight that's coming up that the UFC recently announced is Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya for UFC 305. Is this the Sphere event or?
No. So this is not going to be the Sphere event. Um,
Uh,
yeah, this is not the Sphere event. Let me go ahead and pull this up here. We know, I'm excited for this one. This one they're doing in Australia. I want to say in Perth, Australia.
okay,
Um,
okay, nice.
yeah, this one they're gonna do in Perth, Australia. So
Hmm.
obviously there's a lot of people saying Israel Adesanya didn't deserve this title shot, and I just kind of want to know your take on that. Like what do you
Uh,
think? What do you think about this fight just kind of coming out of the blue?
bro, I think they did Sean dirty on this one, bro. I
Yeah,
think they did. Think they did Sean Strickland dirty on this. I think that it's arguable that Sean could have won that fight against Dricus. I recently rewatched it. I had Sean by three rounds to two,
Oh,
barely.
okay.
I thought Sean got him. So I would
Yeah.
say Sean recently put in the work against Paulo Costa. Like, what does the guy got to do to get that rematch? I think
Yeah.
that he deserves a rematch. I think that, I don't know. I think they're just trying to do this just to sell tickets. But I mean, if you had Strickland in there, it would sell just as many tickets probably. So I don't know. I mean, well, it is in Australia, so I do get that. So I think, yeah, they did make the right move. But at the same time, Strickland is the rightful next contender. I don't think Dricus. This is a tough one. I'm just gonna say right now, I'm not really convinced that Dricus could beat Israel Adesanya. This is an Israel Adesanya that's taken some time off, but it's tough, bro. I don't know. I think Israel's a tall task for any guy.
Mm. All right. I'll give you my 2 cents on this topic here. Um, Israel Adesanya did not deserve this rematch. Period. I don't think. But yeah, this was definitely this was not a decision that was done with the sport in consideration. This was a decision that was done with money in consideration. I'm not complaining though. I like the idea of this fight, the Battle of Africa.
Yeah,
Um, I like these two have history. Israel Adesanya obviously said the N word multiple times to Drakus to his face in that that awkward octagon
that was really awkward.
moment. That
That was
was,
actually,
I mean, there was just no reason for that, to be like that. But um, you know what? I like the idea of the fight, though. I'm not complaining. Like as an MMA fan, I'm like, okay, great. Like, oh, Israel Adesanya is coming back. That's sick. But I would have
yeah.
liked to see the Sean Strickland rematch first.
Mhm.
I think again, Sean was done dirty. But again, the only point that I disagree that you said was that they would do the same. I think this fight actually does more numbers um, than a Strickland rematch. Um,
I think like yeah, no, I think it does do like this. I uh I was saying that like I think this is the right move for Australia. If this
yeah.
event was if this was a US event, I think they would have sold just as much with Strickland.
Yeah, no, I feel like even in the U.S., man. I mean, I know Israel Adesanya's got some loyal fans.
I don't know, man.
Um,
I feel like
he's
Strickland
got
is. I
some.
feel like
It's
right
crazy how
now.
many loyal fans is he has. So I'm like, okay, like, dang, you guys really like that, like your boy that much, like, so we'll
Jeremy,
see.
don't be lying.
I think he just got
Jeremy, you're
that.
an
He
Izzy
just has
fan
that.
too.
I
You're an
mean,
Izzy fan too, Jeremy.
I mean, I did have him beating Strickland, and obviously that didn't work out. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
That
I feel like
was
it's because like Israel Adesanya is just one of those fighters who, when he fights, it's that big fight feel.
That's true. Yeah, no,
There's
you're
like tension that develops, but honestly, I'll tell you the truth, he's not exactly the most fun to actually watch fight lately.
right.
Um, but I mean, during his time as champ, he was one of the most active champions, and again, he just every like it felt like every 3 to 4 months he was back defending his title. So um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I like the feel of like the Israel Adesanya event. I mean, he brings that big fight feel to him, and that. But yeah, definitely undeserved, but I'm not complaining. Oh, and I think Drakus out wrestles him. I think Drakus will be smart, use his wrestling, and I think he'll out wrestle him to retain his title. And he definitely has a champ's advantage where he can just kind of hold on for dear life and for all 5 rounds and retain his title. So I think Drakus is going to retain in this one.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean Israel
I think
Adesanya. I mean he can outstrike him for sure, but I don't know. I feel like Drakus is just so well rounded that he can use his wrestling at any given second, and he can also stand up with Israel Adesanya. So
that's a tough fight. I got Israel. I think I got Israel on this one. To be honest,
it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
50-50 right here, man.
Yeah, but I'm not too confident in this pick, truthfully. Would I like to see Israel Adesanya get his title back? I'm not gonna lie to you, kinda.
I think
at least he has some personality. He's cringy, but at least he has some personality.
I think Adesanya is gonna get his title back. I think he's probably gonna fight Strickland, maybe, or another top contender, or he might just move up and fight Pereira, like he probably should, because Pereira and him.
I mean, that would sell some, but I don't think he wins versus the light heavyweight Alex Pereira. I mean, that man is different.
I don't think he does either. I think that this next fight against Prochazka is gonna make people think that Pereira's like the GOAT or something, but no, I think Pereira's definitely still beatable, but yeah, no, it's a tall task. Definitely a tall task. But honestly, bro, besides a few big announcements, I mean, this week we didn't have a crazy amount of news. We did have news that mostly big around Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
That was the huge stuff. A lot of just legal battles that are going on between them. A lot of it's already situated. Ryan retires, so I don't know what the big thing is about that. He's just probably just trying to take control of the situation. He knew they were going to ban him for I don't know how many years, so he was just like, I'm going to retire,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that 1 year is going to go by super quick. We'll see him back in the ring versus, who knows, maybe whether it be a tune-up or a big fight, we don't know. Maybe, hopefully, a Haney rematch. That would even be kind of cool. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's up in the air right now, but definitely, I mean, it was a decent week of combat sports news. I think next week we got a few things picking up. We got a few fights today. We have a Top Rank event, I think.
Yeah, we do. Espinoza versus Chirino. Yeah.
So we got some news probably coming after that, and then we also got some fights over the weekend. I think Top Rank's event might be the biggest of the weekend. I know BKFC's this weekend, but I'm not really sure who's the headliners for that.
I do not know about that one either.
Yeah, no, I'm not too sure about that one. I know this week it's mainly just the Top Rank event today that's really kicking, and then a few other smaller events. But yeah, no, there's some stuff picking up for the summer. I mean, we got Jake coming in for July, and then we got a few Golden Boy and a few other events coming in. But yeah, guys, this has been another decent episode of the championship rounds. We have some decent news out here. We got, Ryan, we got Devin. Let's see how overall the 135 and 140 pounders kind of get together and do their thing. But yeah, bro, this has been another pleasure, dog. We're still on, bro. We're still on.
Yeah, we're doing it.
It's your combat sports guy, James. That's another stream, guys. We're out.